I say the 3rd District needs a courageous leader. I've been that in business, I've been it in the Minnesota Senate, and I would be that in Congress.
Okay, it's too bad you don't have any enthusiasm.
Thank
Why
you.
did you were pretty secure, you got a pretty safe Senate seat. Why did you give that up to get in the 3rd District race? Now, this is a district that has not elected a Democrat since
Ever.
1960.
Oh, I thought it was ever, so.
Well, Roy Weir.
Oh, very good.
1960,
Very good.
61.
Okay.
And that's 27 elections.
Yes.
And so you gave up a Senate seat
Yep.
to take on an incumbent in a situation where incumbents generally have a very high re-election record.
Yes, they do.
And somebody, I remember a few years ago, they said the turnover in Congress was lower than the House of Lords.
Oh my goodness.
And the House of Lords, the only way you get out is to die.
So I was watching the presidential debates, and I was more and more concerned for our country as I saw that it was going to be Donald Trump, and I watched those Republican candidates go lower and lower and lower as they assaulted each other on TV, and I thought, it's not just us that are watching, the entire world is watching. And so, at the time, that's when, Trump was beginning the name calling, the calling women fat pigs, and then later the making fun of people with disabilities and smearing Gold Star families, and even worse, saying things that put our national security at risk, that actually...
So it's Donald Trump that got you to run?
It's not just Donald Trump, it's that my own congressperson would not look at the people in our community and say to them, this is dangerous for our country. And so I felt as though I have a relationship with our community, and I didn't know how this thing was going to go. My grandfather bought a women's clothing store in 1946 called Jackson Graves, and then my dad, after serving in the Army, joined the family business, and when I completed college, I followed in his footsteps. Then I went to Tonka Toys, where I was in marketing, and ended a 20-year business career at Navarre Corporation, where I was their first woman vice president general manager of a division, their largest division. And yet Erik Paulsen, he's trying to smear my record as a pro-business Democrat. In the meantime, he's spending millions of taxpayer dollars on glossy mailings trying to prove he's a good fit for the district, when in fact his record shows otherwise. He's not pro-choice, and it's not just a personal decision, he's an activist. He was actually a co-author of the bill to defund Planned Parenthood and signed a letter that went to the president calling Roe v. Wade a tragedy. He got an award for trying to put the ban on gay marriage into the Constitution after our 3rd District resoundingly defeated that measure at the ballot box by over 50,000 votes. He has voted 26 times to not even have any debate on gun violence prevention.
Okay.
And
these are issues that you're convinced are important to 3rd District
I do
residents.
think so, yes. And finally,
are you finding that when you're talking to people?
I sure do find that. And the last one is climate change, because that's very important to the people in the 3rd District, and our companies in the 3rd District have taken a leadership role in making sure that our country addresses climate change.
And now he has said he has disavowed Trump.
Yes, and again, to me that's curious.
Has he said he has said that he's not supporting him?
Yes.
Is he not voting for him?
Well, you'd have to ask him that. But I do think what's curious is that, I started talking about the foreign policy issues. So we do have some evidence that there's some tight relationship between Donald Trump and Putin. He specifically said he thought Putin was a better leader than our president. Manafort, who was his chief of staff, has now been let go, but as clearly has ties to Russian leaders. And so that's a great concern, especially when you see what's happening with the Russian hacking of our emails. And at one time, if you recall, Trump even cavalierly said he welcomed Russia's hacking of Clinton's emails. And he said that. He's also talked about that perhaps the spread of nuclear weapons wouldn't be so terrible, and that we should consider walking away from our NATO allies. So it's interesting to me that some tape where he degrades women is the straw for Congressman Paulsen now to say, oh, I can't vote for him. All of those things that put our country at risk, national security experts have been writing documents saying that if a Donald Trump is elected president, our country is in danger, and that was the thing. So I, again, would say we need courageous leaders who put the people first before their party.
KSTP poll had you behind by 10?
Something like that.
What do you have to say to that?
So here's what I would say. I have seen 2 other polls, one that showed us slightly ahead and one slightly behind, but within the margin of error. And so I believe this is a very, very close race. KSTP is notorious for putting out polls that perhaps I would say lean to the right. For example, they predicted Nolan was going to lose by 8 in the last election, and he certainly won. They predicted Dayton was behind, and he wasn't. And if you read the fine print in their poll, they actually said they polled 5% more Republicans. How is that an accurate reflection? But the real poll that matters, and I don't think any of us can really understand in this crazy time how it is going to turn out at election day, because that is the real poll that matters. And so I truly don't pay much attention. I am putting my head down, talking to voters, doing everything I can to make sure our message gets out and to be in a position to lead come November 9th.
So why do you think that you're going to break the 27 election?
I think I'm a better fit for the district. I think I stand where Paulsen stands on fiscal matters, regardless of what he has tried to say. I've been endorsed by the Minnesota Chamber, the Twin West Chamber, National Federation of Independent Businesses in each of my last elections. I am a pro-business Democrat.
Have they weighed in on that?
Yeah, the Chamber is stuck with Paulsen.
Okay.
But I have an outstanding relationship with them. And my pipeline project that I'm so proud of, I developed in coordination with the Chamber. So I believe I'm on the same playing field as Paulsen when it comes to fiscal matters, but I deliver results in the big, big issues, and that I'm a better fit when it comes to tomorrow's issues around equity, around women's health and access to, I can't believe in 2016 we're still even having that discussion, to be honest. I think it's very strange. And climate change and gun violence prevention, they're all issues, and they aren't just social issues, particularly around attracting and recruiting top talent workforce. You look at what happened in North Carolina and Indiana when they tried to write the discriminatory policies into law that Erik has advocated for. Companies left those states. Those states are not strong economically as a result of those policies.
Have you had any surprise in people coming to support, or
I have.
companies or groups?
Well, I have. I'd rather not go through it and list them, but you can certainly go through my FEC report and discover many executives have strongly supported my candidacy.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thanks for coming this morning.
Yeah.
Vote Terri Bonoff, November 8th.